Chosen ones. You know, some people that you used to deal with are in deep, deep doo-doo. They're in deep, deep regret. Why? They're in deep regret because they couldn't believe it was you. They cannot believe you were the blessing sent to them. They can't believe it. They can't believe it at all, not one bit. They're banging their head against the wall right now, pulling out their hair, angry at themselves because they can't believe it was you. They can't believe it. They can't believe you were the one to be a blessing. You know, to be honest with you, they thought it was them. They thought they were the light. They thought they were the game changer. They thought it was them. They really did. Their ego was so big and they were so clouded, they couldn't really see that you were the blessing. It was you. Sometimes it's okay to talk your talk. You know, sometimes the chosen ones, we're too humble and we don't acknowledge who we are, what we bring to the table, how we help people. We don't acknowledge that. But I'm here to let you know it was you. You were the one that brought light to that situation. See, the whole time, you probably didn't look like the blessing that these people conjured up in their imagination. You didn't look like it. They were thinking somebody else, or they were thinking about this dream, ideal person in their head. And God sent them somebody who looked a little bit different, didn't necessarily match the description. And they were in their ego. And because they felt that you weren't it and that they could do better, because you might not have been on your square, you know, you might have still been developing from that, in that cocoon to that butterfly. You might have still been developing, and that's okay. God was still working on you, but God hid you. God wanted to see and test the hearts of these people. So he sent something that might not have looked like what they thought was going to be, but he wanted to see how they were going to treat you. And you came and you offered yourself wholly, fully, to help this person grow, be their best self, whatever the case is in your situation. You know, you went there and handled your business. And these people took you for granted. They felt like they had more time. They felt like they could do better. They felt like you were just temporary. You weren't the one. However it may have played out in your case, that's what they thought. And come to find out, they were wrong. It was you. You were the blessing sent to them. Like I said, but because you did not fit the description, you weren't a major thought to them of treating you right. That wasn't a major thought. So when they were out here, they still had wandering eyes. When people talked about you, they didn't defend you. You know? And when the grass seemed greener on the other side, what did they do? They skipped over there. Left you high and dry. Left you damaged. Whatever the case, however the nuance is in your case, that's how they left you. And a lot of times, like I said, these people took your energy so much, they can't see how they were in the beginning of the situation. So when they leave you or you leave them, they can't see that difference. Like I said, a lot of these people have so many narcissistic tendencies and so many ego issues that they're so clouded that they can't see that they were on a 5 when you got with them. And then when the situation ended, they were on a 9. But that was because you gave them 4 points. Just by you being there in your energy. They done siphoned 4 points from you. And now you are on a 9 and now you on a 5. They can't see that. They think that you just regressed. You know, they think that you just slid from a 9 to a 5 because you're not on shit. You're not hitting on nothing. You're not trying. They think it's them glowing up. They think it's them getting the promotions when it's your energy that you done brought. These people been at that same job 5 years, no promotion, no nothing, no nothing, no nothing. You get with them, all of a sudden now they get promoted. You get with them, all of a sudden they're getting gifts and this and this and this, and people's complimenting them and this and this and this. Like I said, their ego is so big and they're so delusional that they can't see it's the energy that you brought to the situation, which is alivening them, making them more alive. They can't see that. They think it's them. So while you're feeding them energy, feeding them energy, feeding them energy, and they're taking the energy, taking the energy, taking the energy, and not reciprocating, that's when you became that 5 and they became that 9. And then what happened? The ego got so big one day, somebody complimented them, or somebody said, ugh, why you with them? Because you got to think about it, the dynamics done changed now. You know, so somebody's like, why you with them? Or somebody gave them a compliment that boosted their head so big, and they turned around and looked at you, and they felt like they didn't need you anymore. They felt like they could do better. So they left. They left. Or they did you so wrong, or it was so many red flags that started popping up that you chose and decided to leave. And then what happened? We all know. We all know. The finesse got finessed. The person with the big ego, the person with the narcissistic tendencies, the person who thought they could do better, the person who thought you weren't enough, the person who thought you weren't a blessing, the person who couldn't see that you were a blessing, they got. They got finessed. They got tricked. They got hoodwinked. They got bamboozled. They got scammed. They got manipulated. They got lied to. I'm telling you. Even if you talk to them after the fact and they say, oh, I'm doing good, don't believe it. Don't believe it for one bit. It's impossible. People with big egos, people with narcissistic tendencies will always run into somebody who's worse than them. That teaches them a lesson. And it always happens after they leave a chosen one. I promise you. After they leave a chosen one, their ego is on 10. And what happens? They attract somebody else whose ego is on 10. They attract somebody who's just like them. But because they're so blind, they can't see, or they don't have discernment. And now at this point, God's hands is not over them. See, God's hands was over them when God delivered you to them. God's hands was over that situation. God's hands was over them. God gave them an opportunity. God gave them a chance. But once they did you wrong, and God removed his hand from those situations, guess what happened? It was free reign. Which now that allowed for their equal match to come in. They manipulated you. Now they get manipulated. Now they meet a master manipulator. They cheat on you. Now they meet the master cheater. All the things that they did to you, they're meeting somebody whose skill is equal or better. And now they're going through it. And while they're sitting in their misery, again, while they are sitting in their misery, they are deeply sad. They are deeply sad that they did you wrong. They are deeply saddened that they treated you how they treated you. This is facts. Excuse me. This is facts. They can't believe it was you. They can't believe themselves. They're beating themselves up about the way that they treated you. And a lot of times, when they were treating you bad, or they weren't taking proper advantage of the situation, you gave them chance after 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 chance. And what did these people do? They squandered it. They thought they were going to have another chance. They thought, you were just naive. You were a pushover. They thought that they thought that they could continue to lie to you, and you would just accept it. Not knowing that God has been giving you discernment, not knowing that God has been giving you clues, not knowing that God has been letting you know what's really going on, not knowing that God has been directing your footsteps, that God was telling you to give them another chance, or God was telling you to be patient. Not because you necessarily wanted to be patient, but because God was instructing you to be patient. They couldn't see that. So after they go through this situation that they're going through now, guess what? Now they're sitting sad, depressed, ugly. I'm telling you, they're sitting in that situation regretting the way that they treated you. They can't believe that it was you. They can't believe that you were the one sent to them. And you know what? This is their lesson. You know what? That's what they get. Because how I feel or how I see it is, the worst thing about this situation is that they could never get somebody like you again. It's going to be a long time. It's going to be an outstandingly long time before they get somebody like you. Somebody who's going to treat them like you treated them. It's going to be a long time. God just don't hand that out like candy. Especially if you treated somebody, he personally hand delivered to you. That don't happen too often. On top of that, if they don't learn their lesson and they don't repent, they can forget it. So because they don't want to repent, learn their lesson, do better, guess what? They will continue living the same life over and over and over and over and over until the day that they are no longer here. And because they won't change, because they won't repent, because they won't, whatever the case may be, do right. Guess what happens? You haunt them for the rest of their life. You are living rent-free in their head for the rest of their life. That regret will haunt them for the rest of their life. And there's nothing that they can do about it. You know how they say the one that got away? You are the one that got away. Again, you are the one that got away. And they can't believe it. So you think that they treated you bad? Think about how they're treating themselves right now. You'll never see it. They'll never admit it. Ego and pride. So don't look for it. Don't look for that confirmation. Don't look for that Instagram post. It's not going to come. Rarely does it come. Rarely does it happen. But they can't believe it was you. They can't believe it. They fumbled a lottery ticket. They fumbled a blessing. And the crazy thing about it is deep down inside, something was telling them to stop. Something was telling them, God was telling them. God was talking to them, telling them stop. Do better. Treat this person right. Don't do that. Don't cheat on them. Don't do this. Don't do that. God was telling them. And they were ignoring it. Their ego was too big. They thought they were bigger than God. They tuned God out. You see, they were praying and praying and praying and praying for somebody like you. Then when God delivered, granted, like I said, it didn't look exactly like how they thought. That's where the trick was. These people were so caught up into their own world that when God sent them a blessing, they weren't able to see it because they were so caught up into the worldly things. They were so caught up into their own thoughts and visions. So when God sent them a blessing, they couldn't see it. They squandered it. God hand delivered it. And God was talking to them. God was with them. And they squandered it. And now we're here where we are now. So chosen ones, don't change your heart. Don't change how good of a person you are. Don't change any of that. Just pick up and learn the lessons that you can in these situations and move forward. Yes, you may be hurt. Yes, you may be scarred, but these are things that you learn from. These are things that help you become a better person. Don't hold resentment in your heart. Don't hold hatred in your heart, because they're holding all that already. Again, the situations that you are in with these people, they are holding the resentment. They are holding the hurt. You don't have to hold that. You got to understand the type of person that you are. People will throw themselves at you. People would love to have somebody like you in their life. So don't you feel down. Don't you feel depressed. Don't you feel bad about yourself. Don't you feel anything. You understand the person that you are, and understand that the lessons that you learned in that situation is to help you move forward. It's learning lessons, life lessons. That's going to help you be a better person. I'd rather have those lessons being taught and being learned versus the lessons that the person who used you. Because the lessons that you're learning, you're getting better. You're having more opportunities presented to you. You're the lender now in this situation. You have the upper hand of this situation. Versus the person who did you wrong. It's worse enough that you have to learn a lesson. But what makes it even worse is that you have to learn a lesson. Now you have to wait for you to utilize that lesson. For you to utilize them in a situation that could be beneficial to you. Because it may never happen again. But you, on the other hand, the lessons and the skills and the things that you learn in these situations, you can apply them just like that, because people love people like you. That's what I'm getting at. Anyways, I hope this can help somebody today. It's Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.